Alright, hey everybody, welcome to IA Command. It's been a little while since we've done a video, since we had the Homeworlds and the IACP regionals back in March. But there's been a good reason for that. During all this stuff that's been going on, I've been working from home, and it's been very busy, both trying to keep up with all that's going on. I work at a hospital on the administrative side, and then also we're trying to ramp up and get ready for when everything's going to reopen. So been really busy with work, got some family stuff going on, and then also most of my time with Imperial Assault lately has been on the IACP steering committee, helping them design. We just finished updating season 3, and that's what we're going to be playing here in this game today. And we've been working really hard on season 4 actually, which includes a lot of playtesting. That's something we're trying to really increase and push for doing for future seasons, is doing a lot of internal playtesting before we put the cards out, but also just a ton of designing, talking with the other committee members, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. If you guys are interested in my work that I've been doing on IACP, I have been doing a weekly blog for the website over at ia-continuityproject.com. So check those out. Those are my designer diaries. You can kind of see what's been going on behind the scenes with that. So let's get into it. Oh, one more other thing, update. I have been sending out the prizes from Homeworlds. It's been a little bit of a process. It's been hard. Like right before Homeworlds, we had everything shutting down, and I've had to be very careful about where I go and how I go about doing things outside the house because of how things are at home for me. So getting to the post office has been a bit tricky. I accidentally sent some things in the wrong packaging, had to redo a bunch of stuff. So I think a lot of you who are in the States, if you gave me your address, you've probably gotten your Java alt art. For those of you in the States that were in the top 8, that's where I had a lot of problems, and also with the international ones. But for those of you in the top 8 in the States, you should be getting your mouse pads, I think on Monday, and I'll contact each of you individually with a tracking number. Did that right this time. Then for those of you internationally, that's where there's been a lot of problems, again, because of what's going on in the world, and also just my own ineptitude with international shipping. But those, I should be getting those out soon, once I'm done with all the customs forms and everything. And hoping to get those out this week. The week of the, May 4th. Yeah, May the 4th. So anyway, just that was the update on that. Oh, one more thing. We've got a tournament coming up on this Saturday? Whatever this Saturday is. So definitely check that out. We're going to be live streaming with the the Built on Hope crew. We're going to be commentating. It's going to be ISP. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. It's this Saturday. It's going to be great. Let's get into the game here. This is a casual pickup game that I ended up playing up with Morgan, friend of the show. Hey Morgan, thanks for thanks for playing with me this casual game. This was not a testing league game, so we just decided to play on Endor Defense Station. We did the renovation map. That's the one where you have to pick up the energy cells and you can deliver them to the fuel station or whatever it's called on the left side of the map there for extra points. And I am playing with a new and improved Yoda. This is version 3.2 Yoda. We worked really hard on getting Yoda right this time, making sure he felt powerful, but also that he felt very thematic to what Yoda from the original trilogy was. So let's look at the list here. This is actually a list I designed because we kept playtesting different versions of Yoda during the design process. I wanted to really try him out in the wild, so to speak, with his finalized version. And I wanted to kind of double down and see what he could do when we combined him with a lot of like deflection stuff, with like Jedi Luke and deflection. We definitely played him with Han in the testing process, and what we found was people just wouldn't attack Han, which is what people normally do anyway, so we didn't feel like it was that much of a problem. But now I kind of want to see what he can do when it's a softer target, Jedi Luke with his deflection, which a lot of people discount and don't think about that much because it doesn't usually have a high impact. So anyway, this list is got Yoda, it's got Jedi Luke at 11 points. The new and improved Obi-Wan Kenobi, we gave him a new ability that lets him basically let himself become defeated when he's attacked, and in that case he is worth less points, 3 less points. Then we've got Ahsoka to round out our Force user package here. And then I've got Hera, who originally was going to be Jin, but then I wanted to try Hera out because Smooth Landing let me do some fun things with this list on this map. R2-D2, Gideon, and then we've got Heroic Effort and then Extra Armor, which I have used to put tokens on Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker. So up at the top there, Morgan in the blue deployment zone with initiative. Morgan's playing a box list. This is pretty similar, I think, to some lists we've seen already, which is Han, Chewie, then MHD, Hera, Gideon, 3PO, and then he has got the new updated Jin, Odan, in his list. And let's see if we can scroll down here. I want to make sure we see everything. And he's got, nothing else, Heroic Effort, but that's it. No like upgrades, no doubt, nothing like that. So very strong defensive list, but my list is kind of a box too, but it's a Yoda box. Anyway, let's start it. So this is actually a replay log, so we're just gonna go through it. And for those who don't know, you can actually log your games on Vassal, and then if you reload them, you can just use the page down button to actually like click through your games really fast. So here, let's see. So we start off, Morgan has initiative. He took the top deployment zone there. Let's see, why can't I? There we go. Okay, now I'm using Hera's Smooth Landing here. And I like Smooth Landing with Yoda as well. You can combine it with Gideon. That way you can get Yoda where he needs to be to defend your figures on round 1. Otherwise, he can be a bit slow. He does really like having either Gideon or Hera in a list, but even without them, he can get to places that are very good for defending figures that want to stand in the open a little bit. So here we go, drawing our opening hands. You can see I've got, this is actually a card that was introduced in Season 3 that got updated. Get Behind Me. Very great for protecting Yoda, since he then gets to use the Force Deflection. And for those who don't know, Yoda's new ability that he got for the update is Force Deflection. So after an attack targeting him or an adjacent friendly figure resolves, the attacker suffers damage equal to the number of dice rolled. So it's very similar in wording to how, it's limit once per round. It's very similar to how Jedi Luke's deflect works, except that it's more damage at once, and then it doesn't require line of sight, and it's limit once per round. So obviously we're trying to combine those two here to make sort of a bigger damage effect. Alright, so it looks like I've got 7 activations. Looks like we're both at 7, so nobody's passing here. No R2-D2 in Morgan's list, since he opted to go with Jin for the extra firepower. I realize I'm not advancing the game state here. Alright, so he's going to activate... Oh, not hitting the right button. Activating 3PO for Morgan, focusing up Han, and moving on to the terminal. I'm definitely wary of opening my door, because that middle room is such a great spot for Han and Chewie to just kind of snipe from. And also I need line of sight with Luke for his deflection, so if Han is able to shoot me from behind that wall, I won't get the extra damage on Luke. So instead I'm going to opt to probably go for this middle green lane, because from there, if I park Luke in the open, there's nowhere that Morgan can really shoot Luke without Luke having line of sight. So I activate R2 and put him on the terminal. Morgan activates Gideon, pushes Jin out after focusing her, next to 3PO. I activate my Gideon, pushing Ahsoka forward. And this is going to allow me to grab that fuel cell on turn 1 and then move her into safety behind that block. And the nice thing is, because of Hera, I don't need to use Gideon on Yoda round 1 to get him where I need him, which is one space to the left of R2 for this game. So Morgan opening the door with MHD. Feeling pretty safe probably putting his MHD there, since I don't have any strong ranged attackers in my list, and I've also already used Gideon. So I go ahead and activate Ahsoka. With Force Jump and Vigor, she can pick that box up and move right into that safe space there. Alright, and now Hera activating for Morgan. Really nice spot for Hera there, because again, Morgan is probably thinking he's going to be taking that middle room, and Hera, that sets him up to have Hera, if Han is attacking from that red wall 2 spaces below MHD. So I go ahead and activate Yoda, and now at this point I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go in that middle room. Let's do this. Let's put everybody over to the left. So Yoda is going to focus. Oh, then we get some more abilities from Yoda. So Yoda lets you draw a command card when he activates, and then you put one at the bottom of the deck. So using Yoda, looks like I kept Force Push. Not sure what I discarded. Oh well. I think I put Celebration back. But I'm definitely looking for as many movement cards as I can get here, because I need to close the gap. And I need to be able to surprise Morgan with movement that is not printed on my deployment cards. So activating Obi-Wan, Morgan moved Jin into the room there. So now I really don't want to open that door, because now she just has perfect hair trigger line of sight to both my deployment zone and also to the middle area where the green patch is, to the shield generator. Alright, so now Morgan activating Chewie, putting in by 3PO. Sorry guys, the scorecard's moving. Put that back there. Okay, now activate my Luke. And I think the only one I haven't activated yet is Hera. And he still has just Han left to activate. So he moves Han all the way out, giving him that end of round shot on Luke, which I like. Then I activate Hera and just move her up next to Yoda. So I've kind of got my box set up here. Now we draw, and I luck into Deflect. I did run 2 in this deck, so I was hoping I would draw it in my first. I mean, what is this? This is my first 7 cards because of the extra one that Yoda gave me. So that was nice. And now Morgan is going to. I guess that's just going to keep moving every time. So Morgan's going to we both get 2, and he's going to take an end around shot on Luke, and now I pop the deflection here. Decided not to spend the token, which I think was probably a mistake, but I was hoping that I would dodge. You know, I thought maybe he would miss or I could dodge, so I didn't want to waste it. But it turns out if I had spent it, well, actually no, because it was the surge that gave him the accuracy. So anyway, wasn't really a mistake. So no reroll. Does have to spend the surge for accuracy because the deflection command card is a -2 accuracy. So Luke takes 5 damage, and then deals 6 damage right back to Han with Luke's deflect, the deflection command card, and then 4 damage from Yoda's Force Deflection, which I think Morgan was not quite expecting. But honestly, I think without the deflection command card that popped out, like he's got MHD, who is 4 spaces away from Han. Han's not in any horrible danger there from most of my figures, so I think if he thought he was only going to take 4 or 5 damage there, I think that would have been worth it, knowing he's got MHD, because it just gives MHD something to do. But he did mention he didn't realize that he was going to be taking that much damage from attacking Luke. So initiative goes to me. And Morgan playing Set a Trap. I think it's like a signature card for him. For those who don't know, it's basically you pick a tile, and at the end of the round, if you have a figure on that tile, you can attack an opponent's figure that's on that tile. So he's choosing the barracks, really wants to solidify his control of that tile. Again, I have no interest in going in there. We're definitely fighting in this big, long green hallway. Alright, so I go first, and I don't know, this was kind of weird. I thought maybe I could try and really capitalize on Morgan taking more damage than he was expecting, and like pull Han forward so he couldn't get too far away, and then Ahsoka could like jump in there and finish him off after Luke does a bunch of damage to him. I mean, Luke can attack him twice here, right? So, oh no, I guess I couldn't attack him twice because I moved 5. So, I don't know. This one's kind of wonky. And then I do something stupid. I play Death Blow before he shows on the lamb. Really should have saved that Death Blow until after I knew on the lamb was gone. So I waste a focus, and I get the return fire, and I don't have Yoda to punish that here. So, yeah, I kind of jumped the gun on this one with Luke. So Luke takes 4 again. The nice thing though is that I can still move. I still have another action because that was my heroic attack that didn't spend an action. So I can at least move him back to the protection that Yoda offers. And Luke still got 7 health left, so he's not in danger of dying on this next activation at least. And now MHD. Oh, and because of deflection, Han took another damage. So now MHD is going to come up and heal Han. And that puts him definitely out of range of me killing him with Ahsoka. I think that's what I was trying to do, is pull him away from MHD with the force push, but he got me with the on the lamb. So anyway, activate R2, decide I need to refill my hand here and get some more options. Draw planning, but I don't want to play it. I think I can play it with Hera. So now Morgan is reinforcing or bolstering his defenses here, focusing upon and giving him that extra block from cunning. So now I'm activating Hera, but my planning gets negated here, which I think is an interesting play. I think it makes sense. I think Morgan's trying to slow me down here. Give himself some time to regroup after he took all that damage on Han. Alright, now the nice thing is I can still double move with Hera because negation gives me my action back, but I decided I'm just fine leaving her there. I thought about putting her up to block line of sight to Luke, but then I thought it would make her too easy of a target. Alright, so Morgan's activating Jin, and he's going for the stun here, going for element of surprise. I try to play take behind me, and then get behind me, and then I actually count the spaces. She's way too far away. So she's going to take some bad damage and probably stun here. Yep, perfect roll. Well, I mean, that one die could have been one better, but 6 damage, and he stuns Ahsoka. He discards smuggled supplies from the top of his deck for 2 movement points with Sidewinder. And that puts him in a spot where he can now quick draw to get a stun off on Obi-Wan as well. Not quick draw, what is it called? Hair trigger. So yeah, Jin is good. I love Jin in IACP. But I do go ahead and activate Obi-Wan. No, actually activating Yoda. So it looks like I drew, I'm not sure what I drew there. Missed it. But you guys know. Definitely didn't want to keep, I think it was knowledge and defense actually. But I think I wanted to keep urgency for Obi-Wan and dying lunge for Ahsoka. And get behind me so I could get a surprise Yoda Force Deflection. Even though he already knew about it in my hand. So anyway, activating Yoda here. And moving him to protect Luke. So this is nice because I put him there so that whoever shoots at Yoda, I'll just have Obi-Wan move up to take the attack, and then Luke will be able to use his Force Deflection, I think. Actually, I don't think it works that way, but oh well. Gideon activating moves Hera forward. Oh no, sorry, Hera activated to move up there to get closer to the fuel cell. And now my Hera is stepping forward. I think I did, okay, so I did this because I wanted to be able to move Obi-Wan closer so that I could actually get him up to get an attack on Han now that Han has already used return fire. So Chewbacca moving up closer. All right, activating. Now I'm activating Ahsoka. And I get to use Yoda again here to remove the stun from Ahsoka by having her take a strain. And I discard, sadly I discard right back at you, which is again part of my deflection plan with this list. So I didn't get to use that this game. But getting rid of that stun is really nice. That's, again, once per round with Yoda. At the start of a figure's activation, that figure can remove a harmful condition by suffering a strain. So I get the 2 movement points. And I use Force Leap to go for an attack. Oh, that's right. I moved Hera there to also get the called shots in case I want to go for an attack on Jin. This is a bit risky because of Chewie. Knowing that, you know, if I kill Jin here, Chewie's going to get to reactivate, but at least he won't get the extra focus, so. Pretty happy with that one. So I use call the shots to add 2 more and do 6. So putting some good damage here. I put Ahsoka back. She's actually picked up, she's still holding the fuel cell, so I put her there. She can't quite get back to Yoda, unfortunately. And Chewie's going to come up here and take a focus shot at Ahsoka. Yeah, I don't know why I put her there. I probably should have put her up further forward for a better dying lunge. Oh yeah, that's right. I think Chewie hadn't activated yet, so I was trying to kill Jin before Chewie activated, but didn't work out. And now, yeah, I've got Ahsoka in a bad spot here. But this is where Get Behind Me comes into play. And big attack. Fortunately, I forget about the stun on Chewie. Did not factor that in because now that means Obi-Wan's not going to be able to move. But it's better than losing Ahsoka here. And because Yoda is there, that means Chewie is going to take 4 damage. So that's 8 damage that Yoda's dealt now. So I go ahead and activate Obi-Wan and just decide to kind of move him up into the fray for the next round so he can actually get some attacks off. The nice thing about playing against Morgan's list here is that he can't attack really more than once. In hindsight, I kind of... Oh yeah, I did that because also I wanted to stop Han's end of round. But it certainly doesn't stop Han from shooting at me during his activation. But I get a little lucky here. Get that dodge. And I top deck into another deflection. So now we've got Han's end of round to try and finish off Ahsoka. Not quite enough this time without the focus. Puts her at 1 health left. Both players getting 2 points. Jin has 1 and Ahsoka has 1 fuel cell. Nobody's dropped it off yet. Barracks goes to the discard, does not resolve because none of my guys are on the barracks. I certainly wasn't going to go there anyway. Alright, no starter round for either player. So now Morgan has the initiative here. And he's going to play Hour of Need on Chewie. Now, here's the thing. If he's going to activate Chewie first, and I know he has Debts Repaid in his hand, or he should have it in his hand, I need to kill Chewie. I don't want to be killing other stuff first, so I can't have him healing Chewie here, which is why I decided to play my negation on this, which would have been a 3 recover for Chewie. So Chewie moving up. I'm going to do a slam on Obi-Wan. He's got now 4 health left. So he's going to attack Obi-Wan, and at this point I need to decide if I want to try and live through the attack. I've got 4 points, and I've got a block token and an evade token, and this is an unfocused Chewie attack. Or if I want to use his ability. I think it would definitely be a lot better. I decide because I have Dying Lunge that I'm okay with taking the risk on dying to the attack. Because if I die, then I'll just play Dying Lunge and try and kill Chewie here. With the focus attack from Obi-Wan, and then I'll try and double tap with Luke. And I get the triple block, which is nice. Especially since I think if I had gotten anything less than a triple block there, Hera would have killed me, so that was lucky. He does use the surge. He does add a surge with Hera to get the stun, though, which would not have stopped me from using Dying Lunge. But what it does do is now I'm subject to Hero Trigger from Jin here, who now I'm stunned. I won't be able to remove the stun with Yoda before Hero Trigger kills Obi-Wan. So here I just need to let Obi die. Yep. So Obi-Wan dies using his I forget what it's called. Strike Me Down. Yeah, Strike Me Down ability. So that way he only gives up four victory points. And then I use the Into the Force to give a focus to Ahsoka. And Jin runs away closer to block line of sight to Chewie. And unfortunately, now that means that Morgan gets another activation. And he uses that activation to activate MHD and kill Ahsoka with Improper Procedure for 1 damage. That way he doesn't have to deal with the dodge again. Yeah, I think it's Improper Procedure. Not sure what it's called, but... So that kills Ahsoka, but I am able to Dying Lunge here with my now focused Ahsoka thanks to Obi-Wan. And... I was going to go for Han, then I'd think, well, maybe I should try and kill MHD. I could probably kill it with Hera. But then Morgan reminds me that I'm weakened from Improper Procedure. So then I think, oh, okay, well, I definitely can't kill MHD if I'm weakened. I would need to max roll to do that and have both surges. So I decided this is probably my best chance to kill Han here. So... try and put a bunch of damage on Han, even though I know it's going to awaken Chewie. Not a great roll, but Han gets a terrible defense roll here, so I use the Twin Sabers to cancel my attack dice. And just a beautiful roll there, if it wasn't for the weaken. But thankfully, Hera is right there, which gives me exactly enough damage to kill Han, which brings out the Miracle Worker from MHD. Now putting Han at 3 health remaining, and it means I now get to activate on that Han who has played both On the Lam and Miracle Worker. Hasn't used Return Fire, but as long as I can kill him before he, with this next shot, he won't get to. So I activate Hera. I move her back here because just in case Han gets a dodge, I want to be able to not let him use Return Fire, because if he returns fire, then he'll get killed by Yoda. Although I guess he would have done the same thing if he returned fire from back where he was. But anyway, going for the attack here, and yep, doesn't get the dodge. Not as lucky as me. So that is a dead Han, which evens up the score a little bit. And now here we realize that, so that Miracle Worker was the last card in his hand. He forgot to add Debts Repaid at the beginning of the game. So he should have had Debts Repaid in his hand, but he's kind of technically gotten an extra card because of that. So I tell him, like, I'm sure his whole game plan has been revolving around Debts Repaid here, and he should have had it. So we just say, just add it to your hand, and then we'll have you draw one less. And I think that made the most sense. So this is a casual game. I think in a tournament, definitely would have worked that way, but it's fine. It's more fun to play it, the way it should be played. So that means that Chewbacca is readied and focused, but I have gotten one of the most difficult to kill figures in his list off the table. And also because Debts Repaid is gone, I don't have to worry about killing other stuff besides Chewie now. But now he definitely gets to make me pay for this. The nice thing is, though, all of my other figures are by Yoda and Luke, so if he wants to do anything mean to me, he's going to have to... He's going to have to take some Force Deflection from Luke and Yoda. So focusing Jin here. And again, Jin has used hair trigger, so... And I don't have to worry about killing her, so I realize now I just need to get rid of her. I think what I'm doing here... Oh, I activated R2 to draw, and I draw Luke, Son of Skywalker, which is what I need. But Morgan activates Hera to pick up a fuel cell. And now this lets me activate Yoda to draw take initiative and put it back on the bottom. Not sure why I didn't go after Jin this whole time. I think I'm just waiting for Chewie to do something. So Gideon from Morgan is going to move up and focus Hera. Yeah, so I guess what I'm waiting here because if I move Luke out too soon to kill Jin, he won't have the protection from Yoda, and I don't want to lose. I can't lose Luke here. All right, so I actually realized that I've made a mistake here with my R2. I don't know why I put him to the left there. It blocks line of sight from Gideon to my other figures. So, but Morgan is graciously allowing me to move him back to where he was. Alright, so I've decided it's time to activate Luke because he's only got Chewie and Jin left to activate. But I, again, make a mistake here. So I play Urgency, but then I realize, if I can get 10 spaces to get up to Jin and then to get back to where I am in the safe spot behind Yoda. But then I realized, with Urgency, you can't split the movement up. So I wouldn't be able to do that. So I take that back, and instead of doing that, I just move 2 spaces and go for the attack on MHD here. Knowing that I'll be able to either attack again and still move back, or if I kill him in one shot, I can pick up that fuel cell. So I attack MHD, and I just get this God roll. Just the best roll I've ever seen with Luke, and it still just barely manages to kill him. Gets exactly 7. So that was lucky. So that lets Luke, with his second action, pick up the fuel cell and move back into cover. So again, forcing Morgan to attack only Yoda with either Jin or Chewie. And if he attacks with... Oh, that's what it is. It's if he attacks me with Jin, Jin just dies from Force Deflection. So he goes with Chewie, attacking Yoda. And this is going to bring out the deflection again, the second one. And then because of the -2, the attack misses by 1 accuracy. Would have totally hit without deflection command card. And then he takes 6 damage. 4 damage from Yoda, 1 from deflection, and 1 from Jedi Luke. Now moving back. So now that he's triggered Yoda's Force Deflection, he would be safe to go with Jin and try and kill, either attack Luke or try and attack Yoda. So now here's where I place on a Skywalker. And now I can move safely up to get after Jin before she can activate. So heroic attack, but she gets the dodge. But it's Luke. He's got another attack. It just means I can't retreat back now. So, yeah, because otherwise I could just have retreated back to Yoda for next turn if he had take. But I really need to get Jin off the table here before she can activate this round. So kill Jin. She doesn't get the other dodge. And then activating Gideon to push Hera forward, which takes us into the next round. So that puts us at 17 to 26. And now I get the initiative, but the 1 card Morgan drew is take initiative. So now Chewie attacking Luke. He's not focused, so he takes that one, and then another dodge. And I actually looked at it, and if that had gone through and then combined it with the slam, that would have been a dead Luke, and I would have been pretty much out of attackers at that point. I mean, I would have had Hera, but she would have been out of position to actually go and kill Chewie. So Chewbacca retreats to the back, but now I just activate Luke. I use Force Rush here just in case I want to go back and kill 3PO. Element of Surprise removes Chewie's black die. And that gives me the kill on Chewie. And then I use my second attack. And Luke is just rolling fire in this game and gets a kill on Gideon for the 40th point. So that was it. I hope you guys liked that game. Definitely got some luck there with the dodge on Ahsoka and then the dodge on Luke. I think if Luke had died there from the take initiative, it would have definitely been a different game because Luke was able to score 14 points there on his activation, and I don't think Hera could have made up the same difference. But anyway, I thought that was a really good game that showed off kind of what Yoda does now. He did a lot of work in this game. He did I want to say 12 damage on his own, and then combined really nicely with Deflect and Jedi Luke for extra damage. And then, he's focusing Force users. He removed a bunch of stun. He helped me filter through my draws and got me to Son of Skywalker, where I think it would have been I think it was at the bottom of my deck, if you think about it, right? Because I've put 2 cards on the bottom with Yoda at least. So that means Son of Skywalker would have been at the bottom of my deck that game. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Definitely check out IACP, guys. It's I think the committee and the content that it's putting out right now is better than it's been for, I don't know, since season 2. Like season 3.2 and now season 4 coming up, it's really good, guys. So definitely check out some of the Season 3.2 changes at ia-continuityproject.com. And we'll check you guys later. Thanks. Bye.